The Chovot Levavot says something amazing. One of the greatest gifts that Hashem gave us. He says this at the end of Shad Bechina. One of the greatest gifts Hashem gave us was Nisim, miracles. He says, why? What is miracles? Why is it such a great miracle? We see in our history some fascinating miracles. One of the greatest miracles was the miracle of Hanukkah. How could it be? The fact that it's impossible. You find one jug of oil to last one day. It's impossible for it to last more than one day. And now yet it's lasting for 8 days. How did it happen? Imagine you come home and you have one loaf of bread. And a guy comes home, let's say, heaven forbid, he doesn't have any money. Comes home with one small challah. His kids are looking at him. He has 10 kids on the table, 15 kids on the table, 20 kids on the table. Now what are you doing? Hamotzi on what? And all of a sudden you're doing hamotzi, and everybody gets a kazait. It doesn't make sense. It's impossible. You say to yourself, it's impossible. But yet, it happened in the time of Hanukkah. It happened. So why is it such a big gift? Miracles are a big gift. So therefore, you in your life, you can realize no matter what situation you're in, things can change. You have people that are dirt poor. They don't know where the next dollar is coming from. They can't even scrape food to eat. And then you see within 1 year, stories and stories and stories of that. Within 1 year, you see the guy speaking, he's the biggest CEO of this company, or he started a new business, and they're sharing the stories. There's many stories about this. Sharing the story. You don't understand? A lady got up once. My husband was out of job and he didn't have anything. We didn't know how to pay the rent, and it forced me to invent something, and she invented something, and she became one of the wealthiest people in the world. How did it even happen? It's true stories, I'm telling you. It happened in our community. After the thing, I'll tell you exactly who it was. It's a true story that happened in our community. The lady started a company that became the one, and she gets up and she speaks at events saying, ladies' events. And a lady event, she says, you don't understand what happened. You couldn't afford the rent. Couldn't afford it. So then what happened? Within the year, boom, everything opened up. So to show you whatever situation a person's in, don't think it cannot open up. Can I say the story about what happened in Hurricane Sandy? I want to say the story. My father's with us today, so I'll tell you a story. There's a property near Coney Island Beach. Okay, this is the story. What happened was, there was a tenant living there, and they wouldn't get out. They would not leave. And not only they wouldn't leave, they told my father, and I was on speakerphone at this time, and they told my father, by the way, I could stay here legally without paying you rent forever. And guess what? That's what I'm doing. I heard the guy on the phone. And he says, that's what I'm doing. Legally, you cannot kick me out. I will be there forever. And every month, my father would call first month, you owe us the rent. And he'd say, I'm not paying you. Straight. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll pay you later, this, that. I'm not paying you. I'm legally going to stay here. You can't kick me out. And I remember at the time, I was like, what's going to be? A month after month after month after month after month. What happens? There was a hurricane, it was called Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy, if you remember, there was certain spots of the city, of the area, that you had to evacuate. It was mandatory evacuation. You must leave. And at the time, that property where it was an evacuation zone. That being said, you must leave. My father said, this is the best time. He leaves, and that's it. He's finally out. We could change the lock. We don't know who you are. You're sitting, you're trespassing now. You're out. What happens? This fellow, did not leave. He would not leave. He would still stay. And it was the water in the apartment got up a few feet, and he wouldn't leave. My father says, this is danger zone. Cops came. They open up the apartment. They bust open the apartment. They see water flooding out, and they see a guy living there. He says, "You must leave. Evacuation. You must leave." They forcefully took him out. Everything out. After that, the guy couldn't come back. And guess what? He was totally out. He left. Everything cleared out. All his belongings were cleared out. And the apartment became empty. The guy never came back again. Isn't that a miracle? Isn't that a miracle? A miracle. No, having is a miracle. Therefore, a person doesn't understand. One of the things that Hashem gave us in life is miracles. Why? Because it's a shot of emunah. It's literally a shot of emunah. You get like, wow, if Hashem could do this, and you have to remember that miracle. Because if Hashem could do that, He could do anytime, any time. If any person's in a situation where, let's say, a tenant's not paying rent, anytime Hashem can make a miracle, whatever He wants, whatever happened, He can make it happen. And this is really one of the things that we have to come and look at. You have to look at the miracles. Everybody has miracles in their lives, by the way. Every person has miracles in their lives. I know people, a person that wasn't able to get married for years, all of a sudden, boom, they were crying, his parents were crying, he was crying, we're going to get married, and boom, before you know it, Yeshua Hashem Kedivine, a blink of an eye, boom. Every situation that we're in, you have to understand, like a blink of an eye, have faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, pray to Him, do your part, and you'll see miracles.